Assalamu alaikum class. Today topic of discussion is nervous system, the diseases and the traumatic conditions associated with nervous system. It's week 11. I have posted the syllabus and content with the PowerPoint presentation along with video on your Google Classroom regarding the cardiovascular system, which was to be covered in week 10. Okay. Now, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, starting with the neurological traumas. First of all, we must have to know that what is meant by the neurological trauma. Neurological trauma is something, any insult of the nervous system or any component of the nervous system, that could be brain, that could be spinal cord, that could be any nerve, that may be sympathetic or parasympathetic, that may affect the body function. Okay. Then if we talk about the management and the spinal cord and nervous system conditions in the older populations, the approach is somewhat different. So here we will discuss the approach to treat the geriatric population. Management of older patients with both spinal cord and traumatic brain injuries required the integration of musculoskeletal, neuromuscular, and cognitive interventions to enable them to effectively progress towards established goals. Obviously, as we all know that geriatric population is somewhat lacking the basic tonicity of almost every muscle. So if they got any brain or spinal cord insult, they will get a severe effect on their musculoskeletal and other systems as well. So we have to plan the management in integration model so that we may cover the every aspect of that plan. With both TBI, traumatic brain injury, and SCI, spinal cord injury patients population, the rehabilitation diagnosis is influenced by a multitude of mitigating factors. Like many factors are relating if you are going to diagnose the condition, such as age-related changes in organ system, as well as injury complications such as heterotrophic ossificans and autonomic nervous system dysfunctions. Obviously, if a person is suffering from spinal cord injury and he is above 50, 55, he must have some kind of spinal cord and vertebral column changes as well due to his age. So we must have to address that factor too. Then what is the international classification of functioning disability and health? Spinal cord injury, traumatic brain injury, ROM, like range of motion, health condition affect three you can say regions: body function and structures, activities, and participation. Your health will determine that how will you participate in certain activities, how will you perform the activities, and how your body will function according to the requirement of activity. Then there are then this is the a multiple approach, you can say, and also affected by environmental factors and personal factors. Obviously health condition ke saath, if other factors must be considered, they are environmental and personal. If there is so much heat around and you have power to do work, but you are so much lethargic, you are so much dehydrated to do work, that is the environmental factor. Obviously heat hai, garmi hai, you cannot perform up to the mark. All right. Then coming to the TBI, traumatic brain injury, the leading cause of TBI, just a minute. The leading cause of TBI for those aged 65 or older is a fall related episode. Obviously, they have poor balance system, and whenever they are suffering from the poor balance system, they are at a greater risk of fall. We have already read and learned that geriatric population is at risk of fall. TBI is the principal cause of seizures disorder worldwide, and the World Health Organization adapted criteria for head injury surveillance in 1993. It is an important MCQ. Like first time head injury surveillance का criteria कब develop हुआ in 1993 by the WHO. Alright, then talking about the geriatric individuals generally sustain fall secondary to either intrinsic or extrinsic causes. We have already learned about the causes of fall, that may be intrinsic, may be extrinsic. In the intrinsic causes, we discuss the role of vertebral वर्टिब्रल आर्टरी इंसफिशिएंसी इंट्रिंसिक रोल है, एंड इन एक्सट्रिंसिक में आप समझ लें कोई हर्डल उनके रास्ते में आ गई या इस तरह की कोई चीज. फॉर एग्जांपल इंट्रिंसिक कॉज इंक्लूड सेंसरी चेंजेस और वेस्टिबुलर पैथोलॉजी that impede effective balance modulation. Environmental barriers and obstacles resulting in trips and slips are included in the extrinsic category. Obviously, any hurdle could be extrinsic. Then modified performance oriented mobility assessment, it is called POMA. It is important, like many of the researchers use this scale to you can say judge the balance of an individual. It is a balance test. Initial instructions: subject is seated in hard, armless chair. The following maneuvers are being tested. Sitting balance arises and attempt to arise. Sitting balance: lean, slide in chair, steady, safe. Like we can judge the balance of a person when he is sitting in a chair hard and armless. If he is lean or slide on a chair, we will mark 0, and if he is steady and safe on a chair, we will mark 1. Then similarly arises and attempt to arise. Then if we talk about Berg balance scale, it is very important. It is worldwide used in many of the you can say balance scoring system. So sitting to standing, standing unspotted, sitting unspotted, standing to sitting, transfer, like it address the every activity of one person, every activity that must be intact for the normal functioning of the body. Just a minute. Okay, I guess things are clear. Is it so? Okay. I don't know who is calling. Then coming to the next slide. Acha bacho, in the neuromuscular book, Susan, have you reading that book? Are you in course of neuromuscular physical therapy? Class, are you reading the syllabus of neuromuscular physical therapy?
Yeah, ma'am, हमने last semester में we have read this subject, but we don't have read this from the book. तो मैम ने हमें slides provide की थी, so we covered our uh, this subject from the slides.
Okay, okay. Have you read the Berg balance scale there?
यस मैम पढ़ा था.
Yeah, ma'am.
It is very important scale, very, very important scale. Okay, then it is very important slide. What are COP and counter COP injuries? If the injury occur at the site of hit, it is called the COP injury. And if the injury occur at the opposite side of the hit, it is called the counter COP. Like Khuda Khasta, if something hit my head from here and my brain got rupture from the frontal cortex, I will call it a COP injury. But if something hit my head here, but I don't have any frontal, you can say, part injury, but in reaction to that hit, my brain hit the posterior aspect of my brain, and the occipital or maybe the parietal region of my brain got injury. That will call the countercope injury. Okay, primary impact of the injury and secondary impact of the injury. Is it clear? It is very important. Examiners usually ask about it: cop injuries, counter cop injuries, etc. Head injuries may be characterized as either open or closed. Obviously, if something hit your brain and you got a trauma, that is open trauma, laceration, or any cut, it will call the open injury. And if someone got an hit but he didn't got any open trauma, but he got some kind of swelling there, it will call a close injury. Open head injuries involve open penetration of skull, obviously. Then cob and counter cup injuries I have already tell about, and fractures of skull. Then Glasgow Coma Scale, guys, it's very important whenever you will work in ICU or any such unit in which the patient is in some kind of sedation. You must have to check the Glasgow Coma Scale in your physical therapy notes. You have to mention that patient GCS is this, and I am elaborating my exercise to the attendants and so on. Whatever you will write. Okay. So read it really carefully. We deal with three aspects in it: eye opening, motor response, and verbal response. In the eye opening, we categorize into four scores. In the motor response, we categorize into the six, and in the verbal response, we categorize into five. You must have to remember it. Okay. Then eye opening. I if I call name Abira, and Abira is sleeping or in the sedation, not in the sedation, but is somewhat sleeping, she will instantly open her eye because she is normal. So I will score 4. If if she will not open eye in response to speech, like if I constantly uh, asking her to wake up, then I will score 3. And if she open her eye to painful stimulus, for example, a patient is not responding to you, you are trying to wake up, but वो आपको respond नहीं कर रहा है, then what will you do? You will pinch something. You will pin something, and if the patient responds with his eye, if you pinch something, you will score 2. And if the patient does not open his eye in any of the response, then you will score 1. सो फोर कैटेगरीज: इंस्टेंट रिस्पॉन्स, वर्बल यानी स्पीच आप बार बार बोल रहे हैं, देन टच रिस्पॉन्स एंड नो रिस्पॉन्स. देन कमिंग टू द मोटर रिस्पॉन्स, follow commands. I ask the patient to lift his hand, he will lift his hand, I will score 6. Make localized movement response to painful stimulus, I will score 5 if I am pinching the patient muscle here and he just pull his arm away, so I will score 5. Make non-purposeful movement in response to nauseous stimulus. I am pinching here, but he's saying नॉन पर्पसफुल मूवमेंट इन रिस्पॉन्स टू नॉशियस स्टिमुलस. पर्पसफुल मूवमेंट तो ये होती कि उसको यहाँ दर्द हो रहा है, यहाँ से वो हाथ पीछे करता, बट ही इज नॉट पुलिंग हिज हैंड अवे फ्रॉम द पेनफुल स्टिमुलस. और अगर इसको हम स्कोर करते हैं 4, इसके बाद है 3 score flexor upper extremities and extend lower extremity in response to pain. If a patient just flex his arms and extend his lower extremity to pain, then it will be scored 2 3. Then extend all extremity in response to pain, like target सा response आता है, पूरी body extend कर लेता है, we will respond to, we will score it 2. Then if the patient does not respond at all, we will score 1. Okay. Then coming to the verbal response, you can judge the patient if he is oriented to person, place, and time. You can ask, where are you, what is the time, what is the date today, do you know that you have been admitted in the hospital, etc., etc. Then converse, may be confused. You can judge his statement, like he say, yeah, I know I am in hospital, it is my home. You can judge he's confused. Okay, you will score 4. Reply with inappropriate words. A patient will say, no, small words you may say, but some words, yes, no, maybe, like this. You will score 3. Then make incomprehensive sound, like groaning, गुस्से वाली आवाज, like so much low sounds. You will score 2. And if the patient doesn't respond verbally, you will score 1. Okay. Mind it, there is no 0 in any of the category. Okay. 1 to 4, 1 to 6, and 1 to 5. Then there is an other scale, Rancho-Loss Amigos cognitive scale. It is important but is not worldwide used. GCS is the scale that is worldwide used in many of the states. All right. Then there are some levels, 8 levels. Level 1, no response to pain, touch, sound, or sight. Level 2, generalized reflexive responses to pain. Level 3, localized response, blink to strong light. Level 4, confused, agitated. Level 5, confused, non-agitated. Level 6, confused, appropriate, inconsistent orientation to time. Level 7, automatic, appropriate, perform daily routine. And level 8, like Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, we are level 8. We are at level 8, purposeful and appropriate movements, appropriate gestures, appropriate words, etc. Okay. And then talking about the spinal cord injuries, this include those individuals who are 65 or older. Major cause of spinal cord injury worldwide include motor vehicle accidents, obviously acts of violence and recreational activities. Injuries to the cervical spine often result in tetraplegia, also known as the quadriplegia, with resultant impairment to all four extremities, the trunk, and the pelvic organs. Obviously, whenever you will get an injury at your spine, it depends upon the level of spine that what at what extent you will lose the movements. The term paraplegia indicates resultant lower extremity paralysis from designated lesions occurring below the cervical spine and is associated with varying levels of trunk involvement in accordance with the lesion level. Geriatric clients may have similar causes of spinal cord pathology because of neoplasms or spinal cord stenosis condition. Obviously, they are already in the state of spinal cord and the vertebral column in which already the pathological changes and the geriatric changes have been taken place. So any of the symptom will be aggressive in the older population. Then effects of spinal cord injury, it is very important. I have picked it from the same book, that is the Susan, um, the book of your your neuro book. Okay, effects of spinal cord injury is very important. Cervical injury, level of injury, if C1 to C5, what will be the effect? C5 to C6, what will be the effect? C6 to C7, what will be the effect? It is very important, very important for your exam point of view as well as for your, you can say, clinical point of view. Whenever you will start your clinic, you must have the knowledge of these levels, um, both for diagnostic purpose and for intervention purpose and many other purposes. Okay, read it very carefully. Slide number 12. Then Asia grade type of injury, definition of type of injury, it is very important. When I attempted the entry test of MS OMPT, it's I guess grade B or A that were being asked. I guess A or B. So shukr alhamdulillah, I know your answer. Asia grade type of injury, if there is complete injury, okay, no motor, no sensory function, a patient get an injury at the level L3 and he is suffering from the you can say paraplegia. He is having no sensory and no motor function. It will be graded as grade A. Then grade B, incomplete, sensory but not motor. Then grade C, it is also incomplete, motor is preserved but majority of key muscles below the neurological level have muscle. Grade number 3, motor function is preserved but very weak. Okay, grade 8, incomplete, motor function is preserved but majority of key muscle below the neurological level have muscle grade more than 3. There is some kind of you can say decrease in the motor function but they are maintained. Grade E is normal, as we all are having, shukr alhamdulillah, motor and sensory functions are normal. Then two major priorities for the geriatric client with spinal cord injury include pressure relief and continued strengthening exercise program. You must know that what are the major criteria we must have to deal with while dealing with the geriatric population. Then in geriatric patients, the issue of ambulation following SCI is multifaceted. ठीक हो गया. Major complications, spasticity, obviously, myositis, ossificans, obviously your muscles will get contracture and with the passage of time, the bony ossificans will start develop into the muscles. Okay. Do you have any idea what does it mean by myositis ossificans? बच्चों सो तो नहीं रहे?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, formation of bone in the
Very good.
muscles.
Formation of the osteocytes in the muscles after prolonged inactivity of muscle. ठीक हो गया? Okay. Then postural hypotension, medical and autonomic complications. Done हो गया यहाँ तक? Then if we talk about the polyneuropathies in the muscle, जी जी बच्चों.
No, ma'am. कुछ नहीं, ma'am.
Okay, if we talk about the polyneuropathies, The term indicates itself like many of the nerves have been involved in some kind of condition. Okay? Term generalized, it can be generalized, can be localized. Then if we talk about the introduction, it's a common disorder in geriatric population, generalized disease of peripheral nervous system, nerve root and peripheral nerve. Usually the longest nerve are affected first. It is very important principle. It is the principle basically, like the longest nerve will be affected first. Symptoms start on toes, feet. Usually, the symptom of an underlying disease, systemic disease, prevalence of non-traumatic peripheral neuropathy is 2 to 4% in general population, 15% over the age of 40. Obviously, if you are not having any trauma, but you have some kind of numbness in your hand, some kind of weakness in one of your hand, there must be, you can say, some kind of systemic disease. Na? So, polyneuropathies, motor neuron disorders, radiculopathies, plexopathies, like your whole plexus is involved, like brachial plexus is involved, etc. Single and multiple mononeuropathies, symmetric polyneuropathies, motor neuropathies, and sensory ganglionopathies. The name are indicating the conditions, and we will discuss further. Then, what are the types of peripheral nerve damage? Nerve can be damaged at different level. I have added some diagrams as well, कि आप लोगों को easy हो जाए समझना. Demyelination, slowed conduction, no symptoms. The myelin sheet is getting disturbed. Demyelination, conduction block, weakness and sensory loss, but no atrophy. Okay, no atrophy, conduction block, weakness, sensory loss, but no atrophy. Then axonal damage, axonotmesis. Okay, axon is begun to damage at certain level. You can see very clearly that the white and black and white blocks are continuous in the first image, but white and black blocks in the second image are not continuous because axon is being damaged. Degeneration of axon, distal to the lesion, and weakness, sensory loss, and atrophy. Then neurotmesis, damage to axon and apineurium. The covering of axon, also the axon is damaging. That is the neurotmesis. Weakness, sensory loss, atrophy, no regeneration without nerve suture. Okay, it is important slide as well.
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी जी.
मैम स्लाइड ना वो पुरानी ही है, न्यू वाली नहीं शो हो रही अभी.
न्यू वाली नहीं शो हो रही. जस्ट अ मिनट. Oh, now is it visible to you people?
Yes, ma'am.
Polyneuropathies.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Term generalized, localized. I have mentioned that in the introduction, I mentioned that polyneuropathies is a common disorder and generalized disease of peripheral nervous system. Okay, usually the longest nerve will get affected soon. It can be traumatic and non-traumatic. Non-traumatic condition prevalence is 2.4 in general population and 15% over the age of 40. Then if we talk about polyneuropathies, it can be motor neuron disorder, radiculopathies, plexopathies, single and multiple neuropathies, symmetric polyneuropathies, motor neuropathies, sensory ganglionopathies. If we talk about the motor neuron disorder, any of the motor neuron, for example, your ulnar nerve, median nerve will get the disorder. Radiculopathies, like your nerve is get damaged and it is radiating the symptoms away or at a track. Plexopathies, like the whole plexus is involved. Single and multiple moroneuropathies, single nerve is involved or the multiple nerve is involved. Symmetric polyneuropathies, like you have same symptoms in right and left hand, right and left arm, right and left leg. Motor neuropathies involving the motor nerve. Sensory ganglionopathies involving the whole ganglion starting from the spinal cord. Then it is very important slide number 6. Type of peripheral nerve damage can be demyelination, can be axonal damage, can be neurotmesis. It is very important slide. The question is being asked in the elective electrotherapy, in the neurotherapy, neuromuscular therapy, also in the musculoskeletal system, your MSK subject. Okay, demyelination, if you talk about it, slow conduction, no symptoms, conduction loss, weakness, and sensory loss. If we talk about axonal damage, you can see in the picture 2 and picture number 2 and 3 also. Axonal damage, degeneration of axon, distal to the lesion, denervation की वजह से, then weakness, sensory loss, and atrophy. Minded that in the demyelination there will be no atrophy, but in the axontomasis and neurotomasis there will be atrophy. If we talk about the neurotomasis, the axon as well as the epineurium, that is the covering of the axon and the covering of your nerve, will get weak, will get affected, will suffer from sensory loss, weakness, and atrophy, and there will be no regeneration without nerve suture. Remyelination 2 to 12 weeks. Remyelination takes 2 to 12 weeks. Then proximal distal axon regeneration 1 millimeter per day. Intact basal lamina endometrium is needed. Obviously, then collateral innervation in case of partial nerve damage start within 4 to 6 weeks. Shukr Alhamdulillah, Allah has planned some ways. Agar it's you can say a famous saying कि एक रास्ता बंद होता है तो दूसरा खुल जाता है. Same is the case with the vascular and the nervous system. Allah Pak has blessed us with the capability to regenerate the nerves as well, but at a certain level. Okay, एक सर्टन लेवल पे अगर इंजरी होती है तो आपकी बॉडी इस काबिल है कि वो जनरेट कर सकती है. देन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ polyneuropathies, clinical presentations can be symmetric, can be asymmetric, then it can be acute and can be chronic. Etiology can be any cause, then pathology axonal, demyelinative, and small fibers. Okay, then clinical forms of polyneuropathies: chronic symmetric distal and predominantly sensory polyneuropathies, mononeuropathy multiplex, purely motor or sensory polyneuropathy, autonomic and acute. These are some classifications. Then generalized peripheral neuropathy. Symptoms are, if it is understood that the longer the peripheral nerve, the more greatly it is effective. It is the principle of disease of any nerve by neuropathic process. Then the sign and symptoms of polyneuropathy make intuitive sense. All right, because lower extremities are longer than the upper extremities, and because sensory nerves are longer than motor nerve as a result of former intraspinal dendritic process, distal lower extremity sensory function is the first and most severely affected in diffuse peripheral neuropathy. We are at young age, but 60 to 80% of the females and also the males suffer from some kind of numbness in one or the bilateral legs. Is it so? बैठे बैठे लगता है जैसे टांग सो गई है. ऐसा तो नहीं होता कि बैठे बैठे हाथ सो गया हो. अक्सर लोगों को फील होता है खड़े खड़े पाँव में सुइयां सी चुभ रही हैं. व्हाई इज इट सो? हाथों में ऐसा क्यों फील नहीं हो रहा? बिकॉज द लोअर एक्सट्रीमिटी nerves are longer than the upper extremity nerves and are more affected by, you can say, any of the condition, followed by distal lower extremity motor function, distal upper extremity sensory function, distal upper extremity motor function. It is, you can say, the pattern of involvement of the nerve. First of all, sensory function of distal extremity, then motor function of distal extremity, then sensory function of upper extremity, then motor function of the upper extremity. Any nerves that are unable to such as median and onion nerve able to indentation by. Okay, these are some symptoms. In for discomfort, he triggered in my hand or in my lower extremity. The post hand stretching during walking. Some spectra, muscle stretch reflexes are lost from to proximal, uniform loss of Achilles tendon, loss proprioception, atrophy of particular intrinsic muscle, skin lesions are very common distally, gross motor functions are affected, severe cases show positive rhombic sign, lumbar stenosis associated in geriatric population. Then functions affected. What are the functions affected in result of polyneuropathies? You can say impaired ankle proprioception. Patient don't feel any stimulus, any you can say any kind of stimulus at the level of foot. Decreased ability to maintain unipedal stance. एक टांग पे खड़ा नहीं हो सकता. Difficulty stair climbing. Difficulty in dress changing. Gait dysfunction. Patient with reception of other system that have to maintain balance. Visual and the vestibular system have even greater difficulty staying upright. Obviously, if he is already suffering from vestibular system insufficiency and he got polyneuropathy, it will cause vigorous change in the balance system. Okay, patient with ataxia from cerebellar or vestibular dysfunction and patient with visual or visual spatial dysfunction have even worse problem. Okay, then common causes of a generalized polyneuropathy in older individuals. Alcohol abuse, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, diabetes mellitus. These are some conditions, these are some you can say causative factors that contribute in polyneuropathies. You may often heard कि शुगर के पेशेंट को तो इस तरह होते हैं, पाँवों में तो सुइयां चुभेंगी. Why is it so? Because diabetes mellitus weaken the nervous system as well as other body systems. That's why they got the such kind of disturbances. Vitamin B12 deficiency, use of antiarrhythmic drugs, then thyroid disease, renal disease, certain long-term use of certain drugs. Then what will be the treatment? First of all, patient education, balance correction, vision correction, proper lighting, proper footwear, skin inspection, strength training exercise, topical medication, and TENS for pains, assistive devices for ambulation. So यहाँ तक हमने discuss किया है polyneuropathies को. Class, we have discussed it in two perspective: traumatic brain and spinal cord injury and the polyneuropathy. Next session is the interactive session. Okay, the next slide is about some common diseases like ulnar nerve palsy, radial nerve palsy. You can all have your mic open and we will discuss mutually. Okay, I am stopping this session.